All right, we are live on the live right now. Good day, man. We are ready to roll. We are ready to roll. We are ready to roll on the live on the first day of the year 2023. This is a beautiful day, and I'm happy you are joining us on the live to talk about an important thing that will affect us the whole year 2023. And so, if you are joining us, whether now or later on in the live, I just want you to hit the like and share button so that we can get more people on the live with us. And today we have a very important topic to talk about. As you may have already realized on our thumbnail, we want to talk about something that affects everybody. You know, the 2023 or the new year brings with it a lot of challenges, but we want to make sure we take advantage of everything that there is in terms of how bad or good the year gets as we move ahead. So today being the first day of the year, we want to use this opportunity to talk about the fact that there are still ways to succeed and to be healthy and to be wealthy. Now, yesterday we used the live to talk about how to set up some resolutions for the year 2023 and ensure that you live healthily all year long. You know, we talked about a lot of things. We don't want to use this time to go over the health issues that we suspect that are going to be needed to be tackled while we move on through the year 2023. And so go back after this show and ensure that you watch it so that you can definitely know what we talked about. But it's worth your time to go and watch that show. And so we are going to talk about today the other aspect of life in 2023 or in the new year, which is your wealth. You know, and we have coined a topic that says wealth secrets for the year ahead. Wealth secrets for the year. It could be for this year, it could be for any other year for that matter. So that is what we're going to talk about. And I have a guest on the live who's going to help us do justice to the wealth. All right. But before I introduce my guest, I want us to just talk about the health tip. You know, we say that every day on the live, we want to talk about one or two things that benefits your health. And because we are a life and health channel, we'll make sure that as we talk about wealth, we also don't want to forget about the fact that you got to be around to enjoy wealth, right? So today, I'm just going to go over some of the things we talked about yesterday in terms of achieving better health results in the new year. And just to be quick, we said that in order for you to have a healthy life in this new year, you got to make sure that you are up to date on your screenings. You know, health screens. If you are over the age of 30 and you are a lady, there is no way you will tell me that this whole year coming, you will not have a mammogram done. Unless you did it last year and your doctor says that you don't need it again for another couple of years. But if you haven't had a mammogram done, if you haven't had any breast, check, got to make sure this year you do it. Definitely important that you do that. Also, on a screening for men, we say that have your PSA done. Apart from the fact that the women need mammograms done, men also need PSAs done. All right, so men have to do a prostate check, and that is the test for prostate health. It's your PSA measurement, and your doctor can let you know where to go for that lab and make sure that you are up to date. And that is if your age is high up there, around over 40, and if you have family history, you probably would need to do it before that age. But again, you got to talk with your doctor about this and ensure that you are making sure you don't miss anything in terms of screening this year. So men, PSA, women, mammograms. And then we also said that even for women, there's another check that needs to be done. And that check is what we call the pap smear. If you talk to your gynecologist or your feminine or women's doctor, to be plain, they will have to check you to make sure that you are clear of cervical cancer or anything that could lead to cervical cancer. And that test is called the pap smear. You got to do it. If you haven't done it, talk to your doctor about it and see if this year, this new year, is a time for you to do it. All right. So those are your health tips. The last screening test that we want to emphasize is colonoscopy. If you're over the age of 45, whether you're a woman or a man, you got to have your colonoscopy done. Colonoscopy can save your life. If the polyps are developing in your colon and you do your colonoscopy now, they can be removed. And removing your polyps studies show that it prevents you from getting colon cancer in the first place. So if you are over the age of 45 and you haven't done that this year, make it part of your resolutions. But for a thorough knowledge of what things you need for this year for your health, go back to the video and watch, because I'm just mentioning these screenings. There are a few other things that we talked about. All right, so that is your health tip for the week as we proceed for a new week, the first week of this new year. All right, so now I'm going to introduce my guests. We have a topic, as I already said, that says that health secrets for the new year. I'm sorry, wealth. We did health yesterday. Today we are talking about wealth secrets, and I have on the live with me a very important guest, one that I call a brother and a friend, and he's going to help me do justice to the work. It was on a short notice because of the holidays, so pardon us if we have to hustle through some of the questions here and there. But he agreed to be on the live to make it more interesting, and in order not to give anything away in the wrong way, I'm just going to allow him to introduce himself, what he does, and why. We will see why it's important. You got to have an open mind. If you don't have an open mind, you are definitely going to miss out. So in this new year, you got to have an open mind, an opened eye, a scouting eye looking for opportunities that may be in your way. If you don't look for opportunities, opportunities may come, but you may not even be able to see them if you are not looking. So you got to look, and the way to get it is to make sure that you are opened, your eyes are open, and you are able to do what you have to do. All right. So I think Jerry is back on the live. You still have your mic, I think, muted. You can unmute yourself whenever you can. And the next thing that I wanted to talk about is that we also have um, three other ways. One of them is real estate, and that is where he is going to come in to give us the info about what secrets you can get, even in this day and age where real estate is not so great. He's going to talk about real estate investment and the secrets there this coming year that can help you make money, that can help you improve your standing economically. Real estate. But before we get him on a live, I just want to make sure that you are also aware that there are other things, the financial services. I'm going to talk about financial services. We're also going to talk about other ways that are, high yield for conservative people, people who do not want to risk, especially in a market like we are in. Some people are saying, hey, I'm not going to do any investment. I'm going to just keep my money and let things pass before I dare do anything. So some people are doing that. All right. And we want to make sure that if they are doing that, is there any other way that is more conservative that will help them rather than to just sit on money and not do anything to with the money? So that is one thing we are going to do. And then also we are also going to talk about a bonus point that I also put in about cryptocurrency. What is crypto? What is going on? And is there anything that we can do with crypto in this coming year? We all know it looks like we are taking on the huge things that people may be running away from and saying that those may be secrets to your wealth in this coming year. But we're going to definitely talk about why we think about these things and make sure that they work for us. So let's see if I can get Jerry back on the live. Jerry is back. Jerry, let's see if your mic is working this time better than we wanted. Just start your introduction
Hello,
again. Let's see how we do.
hello, hello. Thank you. Is
Yeah,
it
it
better?
is better now, but you may have to scream a little bit because of
Oh,
yes.
okay. I'll try my best to scream. I'll
Definitely
try my
scream
best to
because we
scream.
can hear you just barely. So scream for me, please.
Sure, I'll do that. Um, so I'll reintroduce myself. Jeremiah Napo, Century 21 Excel Realty. We are in the Worcester area. Our office, our main office is in Auburn, Massachusetts, and I'm a salesperson, so I'm into sell single family homes, multi-family. I help with rentals and also with
We
investment.
cannot hear you, Jerry. The volume is very, very low. Very,
Okay.
very low. You don't have any microphone around that you can plug in, right?
No, not on this computer. I don't have
Okay,
any
so let
microphone
me
that I
take it
can
off
on.
again and see if we can come back through the other computer because we definitely need to hear you. You have a lot of wisdom to share. All right, so I'm going to talk about the other things that we have on the live, and then if we can get him back, we will do that. All right, so the next thing that I want to talk about before real estate is financial services. Financial services definitely important place to be. Financial services, and by financial services, anything to do with money. So whether you are in insurance industry, whether you are in the financial planning or wealth management industry, um, whether you are in foreign exchange trade or trade foreign currency trade, anything to do with money, financial services in particular, with life insurance and the rest, you stand a chance to gain, regardless of however the economy tends to be this year. We all know that interest rates are high. We all know that we may hit a slowdown, and we may have economic slowdown because of the Fed increasing interest rates. I mean, cutting interest rates and increasing interest rates just to adjust the growth of the economy. So, as they increase the rates, the economy may slow down. But in this industry, the financial services industry, no matter how much slow it gets, you stand to win. So, this is a secret for you in this new year that if you want to do well, watch out. You can be in the financial services industry. And one sure way is to either be in financial planning or wealth management. People who are in wealth management, people who manage other people's wealth, those people are doing well, no matter what. Because even if things go south, you can always know that there's people whose money are still being managed, right? People still have money, and the money they has have to be managed. And so being in the financial planning, financial wealth management, financial planning, insurance, currency trade, all those things are definitely going to be places or areas that would definitely help you make or increase your wealth in this coming year, this year that we just entered, today being the first. So, yes, definitely that is a secret for you. If you are interested in insurance, whether it's health insurance or life insurance or annuities, all those services, if you get in, you are definitely still going to increase your position in terms of finances in this coming year. And if you want more information about that, you can always reach out to me through our channel because I'm actually licensed in this area, and we can guide and lead you on to a place where you can actually attain your own business using this area. So definitely financial services. So as we said, economy may be bad. You know, people may be predicting doom and gloom and all that. But even with that, we're still saying that it is still possible. It is still possible to get the most out of the economy because of wealth management, because of wealth financial services, insurance business, financial planning, exchange trading or currency trading. By currency trading, if you have a business in a place where people do, you know, send money to foreign countries and a business like that, such businesses are making well because transmitters are still going on. People are transmitting money to Europe, to Africa, to Asia, and so any business that takes advantage of this will be able to do that. So that is one way we can do it. All right. So let me see. I think Jerry is. Jerry, my question is, um, if anybody has cash, sitting down, should they even think about real estate, knowing how much the interest rates are, how high the interest rates are? Because most people, I should say, most people know that real estate is your best bet for growing wealth, right? But there's also the news out there that suggests that the interest rates and the loan costs are so prohibitive, so people should actually avoid real estate. So my question is, if you have cash sitting down, do you even think about investing in real estate?
Thank you, Mr. Otin, for the question. There's a saying in real estate that you buy and wait. That's what you do in real estate. We buy and wait. We don't wait to buy. So if you have cash sitting down, and one thing I always tell my clients is that if you can make your monthly payments, then you should buy real estate, because we know from history that real estate appreciates over time. So you want to make sure you invest in real estate because it's going to appreciate over time. And real estate is the best hedge to inflation. We know the government is printing a lot of money, and the value of our dollar is depreciating over time every single day. So you want to make sure that if you have money and you can make your monthly payments, I'll advise you to invest in real estate, because it's going to help you in the future. It's going to help you in the future. And real estate is one of the ways that, you can create generational wealth. If you buy a property and you are able to pay off the property in time, you can hand over that property to your children, and your children can also hand that property to their grandchildren, creating wealth doing that.
All right, all right, all right, all right. That's good to know. Real estate. Now, what if I think that I should save my money now? I mean, you made a very profound statement about waiting. Can you say that again? You say real estate.
So in real estate, we buy and wait. We don't wait to buy.
Oh my
So
goodness,
that's
that that
what we say in real
that
estate.
that
Buy
is
and
profound.
wait. We don't
Mm.
wait to buy
So you
because you
buy
can't
and
time
wait.
the market. Mhm.
You buy and wait. You don't wait to buy.
Yes.
Wow, wow, wow. That is important to know. Now, but so you would say that even in this this market where how home prices are going up and also interest rates are high, you would say that people should buy and wait rather than to wait and buy later.
Yes. I'll advise people to buy and wait. The reason why I say that is that the interest rate is artificially increased. They increased it because we have inflation. So the federal government want to curb inflation. So to do that, they are trying to increase the interest rate to slow down the economy. So what we know as real estate investors, or those of us in real estate, we know that the interest rate is not going to be high forever. It's going to come down. So if you can get a good deal, always you make your buck from buying. So you want to make sure you get a good deal when you are buying it and hold it. So when interest rates comes down, you can refinance. So let's take for example, we bought our house in 2016. We bought it in 2016. The interest rate was like 3.75. Then in 2020, we refinanced it to 2.875. So we bought and we waited. When the interest rate came down, we had the opportunity to refinance it to an even shorter term. So my advice is that go ahead and buy. If you can only make the monthly payments are important, your utilities are important, you know, the things maintenance that comes with the property are important. If you're able to have money monthly to cover all these things, then my advice is that buy and wait. And when you buy it and the interest rate comes down, which we hope and we know it's going to come down in the future, then you can refinance to a lower rate and even a shorter term. So that would be my advice. So right now interest rates are around 6.75, 7%, 7.5%. So let's say in the next 2 years or in the next 4 years, it cuts into half. Let's say it goes back to 3.5%. Then, you can refinance. Now you already had the deal in place. Probably you've got some appreciation on your property for the last 2 years that you bought it or the last 4 years that you bought it. So now you have appreciation. You have the opportunity to reduce your monthly payment by refinancing it. So it's always good to buy if you get a good deal and you can make your monthly payment.
Wow, 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 wow. So buy and wait, buy and wait. Not don't wait and buy and wait. And that's very important because we don't know when the housing market is going to cool down, and when it cools down and prices get low, you can bet that those ones properties that are in the prime locations are going to be gone quick, right? So right now,
Yes, yes.
hmm
So the thing about the high interest rate is that now you have less competition. When we had lower interest rates, we are having maybe let's say 10,000 over asking, 20,000 over asking price, sometimes 50,000 over asking price. You have like 10 buyers for one property, you know. So now we are not having those 10 offers again. Now you're having, maybe if you have a really good property, you're having maybe two offers on it, you know. So we have less competition because we always have less inventory. We always have less inventory in the market. So right now, the only difference is that because there's higher interest rate, there's less competition. So you can take advantage of the less competition and get a good deal and wait. And when the interest rate comes down, everybody's rushing to buy. You already secured your deal, so you can just go in and refinance.
wow, 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 wow. That is wisdom. And so, viewers and guests, this is the point. That this is the whole point of this video. That take advantage of this coming year. Do not think that there's nothing out there because everybody's seeing the economy is not good and stuff like that. So this man who is in real estate, he is himself an engineer and also an agent, a real estate agent. He's telling you that if you can afford the monthly payments, even with this high interest rate, buy that property that you think you want because it's not going to stay high forever. It's going to come down. And by the time, and one important thing you said, I didn't even think about it, is that if it takes 2 years to come down, in those 2 years, your property would also have appreciated. So you basically still win,
Exactly.
and
Yes.
that's a very smart move there. And so buy it now and wait rather than to wait, because when you wait, those good deals will be gone, especially when it becomes a buyer's market and everybody is rushing in. You won't get the location that you want, and in real estate, location is everything, as you guys say, right?
Yes. Location, location, location.
All right, all right. So my other question is, uh, some people have very great credit. Many people have great credit. They may not have the cash, all right, but they got a credit, and they don't think they can do anything with credit, with the credit they have. What do you say as an agent and as a financial guru? I know you're a guru in that area too. What do you what do you say to people with credit? Do you think that they should use, leverage their credit for properties, investment properties, I should say?
I mean, if you have credit, you want to leverage your credit. You want to leverage your credit. Um, my advice is to save for your down payment. It's very important to have some skin in the game. Um, I don't advise that you use your credit card to for down payment because it's kind of like you're taking a lot of risk. So when it comes to leverage, you want to limit your leverage. You don't want to over leverage yourself. If you over leverage yourself, you find yourself in trouble. So you want to make sure that even if you are leveraging your credit card, it should be at a lower limit. Your best option is to save for your down payment. That's what I advise. I advise that if you want to buy a house this year, if that's your goal and that's what you want to achieve this year, try and save as much as you can this year for your down payment and your closing cost. If you're able to do that, then you have enough money and enough skin in the game. And you can use your credit card to do other things. But my advice is that try and be patient with the process, save as much as you can, and use that savings as your down payment and as your closing cost. You don't want to over leverage yourself too much because if you over leverage yourself, you find yourself in trouble.
Wow, 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 wow. We find ourselves in trouble. So I know this is I don't know if you have an answer for this, but let me throw it out anyway. How much credit, if say, if I say say I have $50,000 credit, you know, that I can use, what percentage do you advise that I use it for investment in real estate, not in any investment? Like if I want to leverage, do you say I should use 50% and leave some, or I can do as much as my
So so if you want to buy a single family property and you want to use conventional loan, so you can put down maybe 5% um, of the purchase price of the property for your down payment, and you have to pay some closing costs too. You want to do that because you want to remember that if you don't put 20% down on your loan on buying the property, you have to pay PMI, right? You have to pay mortgage insurance. So that mortgage insurance is going to eat some of your money from you. So I'll advise that if you don't have enough money, you can't put 20% down, you should put 5% down. And with a conventional loan, you should be in a good place. And in the future, you can, if your house appreciates and you get an appraisal for the house, and now your loan to value is like 80%, so you have like 20% of the value in the property, then now you can go to the bank and ask them to take away the PMI. So you have to always remember that if you don't put 20% down, you have to pay mortgage insurance.
all right, all right. That's even with investment property, right? Or
Yeah.
okay.
So with investment properties, this is how a lot of people do it. What they do is that instead of buying their primary home first, right? They'll buy, say, a duplex, and they'll use an FHA loan to do it. So with the FHA loan, you can put probably 3.5% down. So, but with the FHA rules, you have to live in the property for at least a year before you can rent the whole property out. So what people do is that they buy a duplex, they use an FHA loan and buy a duplex with 3.5% down. Okay. So after they do that, they live in the property for a year, then they buy another duplex, then they rent the one that they were living out. So that's how people buy more rental properties. So they start with a duplex, they live on one side, rent the other side, live there for 1 year, they get out of it, buy another duplex, live on one side. Now they have 3 units that they are renting out and keep doing it over and over again. And they keep leveraging that and buy more rental properties. So that's how you can do it.
I see. I see. So in terms of the credit though, if you have say, credit card, I'm talking about you leveraging your credit that you have. If you have a credit card or a line of credit or whatever kind of credit, you don't want to max out using that to pay for the
Okay,
expenses.
so if you have a line of credit or you have a HELOC, if you have a HELOC, so if you have a HELOC, you can pull the HELOC and you can use the HELOC as down payment for the property that you want to buy. So let's say your house is worth 500,000, right? And you can put, let's say, your remaining balance on your property is like say 200, so you have about 300 that you can leverage. So the bank will give you probably maybe 70 or 80% of the 300 equity on the property, and you can use that equity that you get from the HELOC as down payment and closing costs for your rental property. So that's how some people do it. So some people leverage the HELOC on their primary residence to buy their rental property. And also, if you want, you can also use your credit card. You can use your credit card to buy it. You can use your credit card as down payment. You can do that too. You can leverage your credit card and do that. But remember, the credit card has high interest rates. So if you're going to leverage your credit card, remember that you're going to pay more to the
More
bank. You're going to
interest.
pay more interest. So you have to evaluate whatever you want to do before you take that action. With a HELOC, the interest rate is not as high as a credit card. So a credit card, you might have maybe 12%, 15%, 18% interest rate on your credit card, or even more. But for the HELOC, it could be like 6%. So you have to think about it. Um, if I'm going to use my, if I'm going to leverage my HELOC, this is the interest rate I'm going to pay. Am I ready to pay that interest rate? Because you have to pay the money back,
Definitely.
and you have to look into your budget and see if you'll be able to pay that money back. So that's what I'm saying. If you want to leverage, you can leverage, but you don't want to over leverage yourself, because if you over leverage yourself, you'll be in trouble, you know.
So you definitely need at least your your down payment, and if you can get that from your savings, that would be the best way. But if you want to leverage,
Yes, the best
yeah,
way, yes, the best way is to use your savings, save for the down payment. If you want to
yeah,
leverage your HELOC from your property, you can do that too. But as I said, you have to think about the interest you're going to pay, because you have to pay the money back. But if it's from your savings, you don't have to pay back. It's zero interest. But if you use a HELOC, from your primary residence, it's 6%. Currently, it's around 6% interest rate. It's better than a credit card, which is like 12% or 15%. So you can leverage it, but you just have to make sure that you are careful with it and you know exactly what you're doing. Because remember, anytime you take money from the bank, a loan or a line of credit, you have to pay interest on it. So is it worth it? Because at the end of the day, you want to keep as much money in your pocket, you know?
I see. All right, all right. Let's move on with the next question that I have for you, because I know a lot of people. Most people, I mean, if you poll people right now, everybody, I should say, about 90% of the population know that real estate is the way to go. Oops, I lost your camera. I don't know if you can. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
90% of the people think that real estate is the way to go. But then, that being said, we don't always do it right. So the only problem now that scares a lot of people now is the inflation. And inflation, I hear, I think last time you were talking, you mentioned that even with inflation, there are still opportunities in inflation. You said something, and I want you to explain. You said inflation eats your debt, and it's related to depreciating debt and stuff like that. Can you throw more light onto that?
Yeah. So there's one thing that someone said that I found it very interesting. He was saying that whenever you buy an investment property or you buy a rental property, a lot
Mhm.
of people think about appreciation, which happens. But he also said that you also have to think about the debt, the depreciation of the debt. So, because the value of the debt that you have today, so let's say the value of $200,000 today is not going to be the same value 10 years from now. So, the debt is depreciating too over time, because the things that you can buy, you can use 200,000 to buy today. You cannot buy the same thing 10 years from now because of inflation. So right now the debt is also being depreciated over time. So as the house is appreciating, your debt is also depreciating over time. So let's say a simple example is, if you let's say you bought a house 10 years ago and maybe your interest rate was like 3.5%, right? Because of that time, maybe the house that you bought was worth, let's say, 350, right? So your monthly payment is, let's say, $2,000 now, right? That same property, if you want to buy today, it's going to be worth, let's say, 500, right? With the high interest rate, maybe your monthly payment is going to be like what, $3,000, you know? So that value that you have now is more, but because we are in the future, now that value is less now to you. You know, it's not $200,000. It's not the same in 10 years' time. It's going to be worth less 10 years from now. So your debt is depreciating over time. Even though you're saying you owe 200,000, it's not worth the same after 10 years, you know. Yeah.
That's a real that's real wisdom right there. So much as you think it is bad to buy now because of debt and stuff like that, if you can pull off a good enough monthly payment that you can afford, you shouldn't think about it then, because if there's inflation, in the same way, inflation will also make your debt depreciate. So if you owe $200,000 today in an investment property, within the next 10 years, that 200 may actually be or feel like $100,000 because of depreciation over
Exactly.
time. That is
Exactly.
wisdom. I don't think a lot of people know this, and so that is going to be something that we can use as information that will help in dealings with real estate, even in these hard times where interest rates are going up, which is the main reason why we wanted to see if there's opportunity there. But uh, you have actually articulated that so much. Now, overall, before I let you go, do you? I have a few things you can probably hang around, see if you can contribute to those. But do you really, if you had the deal, if you had the deal in the right prime location, you have the 5%, would you still go ahead and buy at the rate like 6.75% or 7% today? Would you do it in this year?
Yeah. You know the funny thing about investors, they don't look at interest rate. They look
Hmm.
at the deal. They don't pay attention to the interest rate because the interest rate, it changes over time. It changes over time. The whole thing is you want to make sure you get the right deal, and the deal is going to cash flow. You know, so when it comes to investment, we always look at the cash flow that comes with the investment property. So if I'm going to get a good cash flow, right, and the deal is a good deal, I'm going to go ahead and buy it. Like I said at the beginning, when it comes to real estate, you make the money at the buying stage. So when you buy it, that's when you make the deal, right? When you buy it, that's when you make the deal. And in real estate, like I said in the beginning, you buy and you wait. You don't wait and buy. So if I have a good deal in front of me, I make my monthly payment. I have the down payment. I can put the down payment in there. I can make the monthly payment. I'll go ahead and do it. If I'm an investor, you know, and I buy a property today and it's going to cash flow for me, you know, then I'll go ahead and do it and wait. Because with interest rates are going to change over time because you can't predict it, You just have to be prepared for it. So right now, you buy it now at this high interest rate, you can make your monthly payment. If you're an investor, you have enough cash flow, you have enough rental income coming in to take care of, the mortgage, the maintenance, and you have some cash at the end of the day. You go ahead and do it. So when interest rate comes down, then you can, refinance. So that's how you have to go with this. If you say you're going to wait for the right time to come, guess what? Somebody's also waiting for the right time to come.
Hmm.
There are a lot of people on the sidelines right now. So this is the time that you can go to the sellers and strike a deal with them, get some seller concessions. Help this, ask the seller to help you buy some points to reduce your interest rate. You know, this is the time that you can do all these things because there's less competition. You know, you need to be savvy enough to go to the seller with your agent to convince the person to help you reduce your interest or give you some money to buy some points so you can get the lower interest rate. This is the time you can make the deals. When interest rate comes down, like we saw a year ago, there's going to be 10 offers, five
Hmm.
offers on one property. People are going to give 5,000 over asking, 10,000 over asking. You're not going to get any leverage. So this is the time that, like I said, if you can make the monthly payment, you have some money for budget for maintenance and everything, and you can do it. You go ahead and do it. Go with the seller, try and get a good deal, and wait. And when the interest rate comes down, eventually you can refinance. You can always refinance. Yes.
I see. I see. That is really really important to know. That is really important to know. Now, um, we will go to the next. the next thing that I put here, some people are very conservative. Some people, no matter what we are saying today, they are going to say that, hey, I'm not going to do any real estate. I can handle the economy right now. I can even think about what the are going to be, and properties may be too expensive for me. I'm not going to go there, so I'm going to go to the conservative approach. And we have a list of other things that people can do with their money. Those who have the money already saved up, but they don't want to invest in this new year. They want to be conservatives. They know they have the money, but they don't want to invest. Some of the things that people can do with the money, if they don't want to invest in real estate, if they don't want to take advantage of any other investment for that matter, with regards to real estate or some of the other things we will talk about. And one of them, and you can always chime in with this, one of them that I found is you could put your money in a high yield interest, um, high yield savings account, which I'm pretty sure you are probably going to say, I wouldn't do that because you want your money to work for you, right? Because I know you from
Oh,
experience. But
you know,
yeah, but that means,
it's your risk tolerance, right? Your risk
mhm,
tolerance. If you want to be if you cannot take a lot of risk, then you want to put in a high yield um, interest account, and
mhm,
that's fine. Real estate is not for everybody. Some people are they like stocks, they like the stock market. I have some relatives that are really into dividend stocks. They're really good at it. So everybody's different. Some people, like myself, I like real estate. My relative, they like dividend stocks, and you go with which ones you want and your tolerance level. So you can put your money in the high yield savings account. You get some returns on it, and if that works for you, that's good too.
all right, all right, all right. So if that's what will work for you, like you said, if your risk level or your risk tolerance is very low, then yes, high yield interest rate is some place that you can put your money. There's also CD, certificate of deposit, which I find that they have timelines. So if you buy a CD for say 30 years, 20 years, 5 years, 2 years, however long it is, then that's going to be how long you can keep the money there for a fixed interest on that amount. And I realized that some people use that. People who want to say, "Hey, I saved up my money for a down payment for a home, but I'm not ready to go in this particular market right now because I don't trust the market." So such people can put their money that they've saved up into a CD instead of letting it sit somewhere and potentially be tempted to buy a car with it. They could put it in a CD for say 2 years, or they can predict however long they want to wait before they buy the property. Put it in a CD, which will make them not so much money, but at least for a conservative person who doesn't want to risk their money being lost, they can put it in a CD. What do you think about that? You agree with that too?
Yeah, like I said, it depends on your risk tolerance level, and if you feel like that's where you want to put your money, you can go ahead and do it. But for me, I think real estate is the best way to do it. The advantages of real estate is just enormous. It's not just appreciation or um, you know the tax advantages that comes with investing in real estate is the thing that I really appreciate, because as much as you invest in a rental property, you can deduct depreciation on that rental property, even though it appreciates. So there's a lot of tax advantages for real estate investors, and that's the thing that is different from the stock market. You know, when it comes to the stock market, when you sell, you have to pay taxes on capital gains. Real estate, there's a lot of ways that you can sell your property and still make 100% of your money. Um, you know, so real estate is no brainer to me. I think that real estate is the best. The tax advantages that comes with it is just enormous. And anyone who wants to enter into real estate, I know there's a lot of risk that comes with it, but as you get informed, and the other thing too is that when it comes to investment in general, it's a long term thing. You know, when it comes to investment, it's not a short term thing that you're looking at. If you want to really invest, then you have to think long term. And real estate is really forgiving. You can even make a bad deal today, but 20 years from now, you know that your house is going to appreciate based on the history.
Wow, wow, I like that. I like that. You can make a bad deal, even if you bought the house at a relatively bad deal. If you wait
Yes.
long enough, you're still going to make your money. That is deep. That is deep.
Yeah.
And of course, I knew you were going to say that because you are you are an agent. You know what you're talking about. You are in real estate. Yeah. So the other thing is people who have saved up for weddings and they can do it now. They can put their money into a CD. Hey, I'm going to have the wedding in 3 years. Definitely 3 years. The guy is going to hang around for me for 3 years. Then they can put it in a CD for 3 years, right?
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you
They
can
can
do
do that,
that.
right? And
Yeah.
the other
The thing
way, I'm
about real
talking.
estate is
Yeah,
it's
go ahead.
it's it's not liquid. Real estate is not liquid. So if you really need the money in a short term, then you want to put it in some place that you can take it out easily. So you can put it in a CD, um, you can put it in a savings, a high yield savings account,
There's also
so that
mutual funds,
mutual
government
funds.
bonds,
Yeah, if
and
real estate is not liquid, so that's the thing. If you need it in a short period of time, then you want to put it somewhere else. You
somewhere
know,
else. That is like,
yeah.
yeah, definitely, definitely. And so for such people who don't want to do real estate but they have the cash, or who want to do real estate but not now because they are scared of the market, these are places where you can safely keep your money and still make some earnings on them. And so government bonds, which are guaranteed, if you buy a government bond, you are definitely assured that your money is safe because the government itself is the guarantor, right? And
Yes.
they have the best credit, so they can print the money and use it to pay your money back. To be as blunt as possible. So that is a safe place to put your money if you don't want to invest. And also index funds are also good, as well as ETFs or exchange traded funds. So those are some of the things that people can do, the quote and unquote people who are very conservative. They have the cash right now, but they don't want to go to real estate. So those are that. Now, I have a bonus point that I want us to talk about quickly. And again, this is also something that I just want to tease your own idea on about crypto. Now, we understand that crypto has been crashing. I mean, I don't know if we say crypto is already crashed or if it's still on the crashing thing. What is your outlook? I have my own position, and I guess we can debate it out if we don't agree. But what is your thought process on people who have invested in cryptocurrency, and people who are thinking about it in 2023? Do you think, um, apart from real estate, I know you know real estate is the best, but apart from real estate, do you think that's a safe bet to put your money now?
For me personally, based on my experience with cryptocurrency, it's not something that you can rely so much on unless you are well versed with it. They have NFTs that comes with cryptocurrency. So with crypto, I'm not well versed in crypto. I don't know much about cryptocurrency. I have some investment in there, but those are not my main. Those are like you put it in there, and if it appreciates, then good. You know, it's not something that I really put a lot of money in there. Like you said, real estate is the one that I really like to invest in because they have a big track record too. You know, Crypto doesn't have a long track record, so it's very difficult to predict or tell what the future is for crypto because like a year or two ago, it was like Bitcoin was like about 60,000 and now it's like 19 or maybe less. I didn't check before I came to the show, but it doesn't have a long track record, so it's difficult to predict. But with real estate, it has a long track record. With some stock in the stock market, they have long track records, so you can, based on their track record, you can kind of predict what their appreciations are going to be over time. But as I said, cryptocurrency, it doesn't have a long track record, so you can't really tell what will happen in the future.
All right, all right. Now, I kind of agree with you in some way, but then when I look back, I remember, bro, when Bitcoin started, I got these emails. I was bombarded with Bitcoin info and advert, and I'm like, oh, these people are about to gyp us. How can you make money with mining on a computer, for Bitcoin? I was like, that's crazy. And I watched this thing grow until, like you said, 60,000. And now I look back and I'm like, oh, how damn! If I had at least put something in there, what it would have been by now. So I'm kind of like, maybe people should take advantage now that it seems to be crashing. I don't know if you can see both of my hands. Now that it seems to be crashing, you know, is it? Perhaps if you have much money to risk, I would suggest buy some well-known Bitcoin. I mean, well-known cryptos. Bitcoin being one of them. Some of them you don't have to buy full price. You can buy part of it. Like Bitcoin itself for 19,000, but you can buy a fraction of it, right? Those who are well
Yeah.
known, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and others that are well known, not the up and coming ones, but those that have been around for a long time. In 2023, if it doesn't crash completely, I think that may be a place where some people can make some gains if you have the money to risk, because like I'm saying, I look back, if those years, if I had put even $2,000 in there, bro, I would be a millionaire by now. But I looked at it and I'm like, no. And this thing has grown and grown and grown. So maybe this is the time for those of us who are latecomers to get in. If we have something small to risk, just throw it out and forget about it. Maybe it may work because obviously you can get a down payment on a house for $2,000 or something like that. And if you can throw it in a well, again, renowned NFT or something that has been out and about for a long time, like Bitcoin itself or Ethereum, those ones that have been a staple for the crypto, maybe you may be able to make some gains in there. Do you see where I'm coming from, and do you agree with what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. It all boils down to your risk tolerance. So I don't know, but I will put maybe putting money in your savings account or a CD at low risk, you know, low
Than the
return,
crypto?
right?
Hmm.
Crypto is high risk, high return, and
Yes.
maybe real estate will be in the middle, you know. So, I mean, if you have some money that you want to risk, you want to put it in cryptocurrency, you can do it. And if you are knowledgeable about it. So the thing about investing is that you want to be well informed. You want to be knowledgeable on what you're doing. You don't want to just throw money all around. Anything that you want to invest in, make sure that you are well informed about it and you're real knowledgeable about it, then now you can put your money in there. If you're real knowledgeable about cryptos and you believe in cryptos and NFTs, then you can go ahead and invest in cryptos and NFT because you have the knowledge and you believe in what's going on. And if you believe in real estate, like I do, then you want to put your money in real estate. And so I think that, in a nutshell, any investment that you put your money in, you want to make sure that you are knowledgeable in that investment. You are well informed before you make that decision because it's money, and you worked hard to get that money. So you want to make sure that you can multiply it. And the way you do that is to be knowledgeable, well informed before you take any decision.
All right. So that was actually our bonus point. And all right, now, again, I'll ask you last question on the crypto. Would you put something in crypto, spare money? Um, would you put something in there in any of those cryptocurrencies, the well-known ones, this year, and risk it if you have
Yeah,
to? I mean, you don't have to.
I'll
Would
put
you
some
do that?
money. Yeah,
Oh,
I'll
go
put
ahead.
some money in Ethereum, because I think that with Ethereum they use the Ethereum cryptocurrency to buy the NFTs. I don't know if they use Bitcoin. I might be wrong, but I know that they use Ethereum in buying NFTs. So if I have some money to spare, I'll put it in Ethereum. And if I have some money too, I can put it in Bitcoin. So the two main cryptocurrencies that we know, it's Bitcoin and Ethereum. So I think I'll put some money in there. If I have some spare money, I'll put it in there.
All right, all right, all right, all right. I like that. So what we are advising is, again, and I like your answers. You are very careful, saying that you have to study the market, you have to know what you're doing, and you have to have a risk tolerance for what you do. So if somebody is doing it, it doesn't mean you got to do it. If you are putting the money in the, whether it's real estate, cryptocurrency, or even in the conservative approaches of savings in bonds and CDs and stuff like that, you have to weigh your risk um, tolerance, and then based on that, make your choice. So we are suggesting these are areas, especially as Jerry said, in real estate that are more obviously available for you to use as secrets to gain momentum in this coming year, in this year that we just entered. And so I want to say thank you so much for coming on the live. I apologize to our viewers for the initial glitches in our system. It wasn't glitch in the system, it was glitch in the host that couldn't figure out that. I couldn't figure out that the volume was all right because I wasn't turning up my side of the volume to hear him. All right. So once again, want to thank you, Jerry. And again, Jerry is he's an engineer who works in Massachusetts and also a real estate agent. And if you need any properties, if you want to dive into any properties in the Worcester, Massachusetts area, if you hit us with a note or a comment, we'll get you to him and he can help you out. If you have any other question concerning real estate deals and investment and opportunities in the northeastern area in Connecticut, Massachusetts, wherever in the US, I think even if he cannot, he can lead you to the right people to help you
Yes.
with that. So, Jerry, thank you again for coming on the live. And as you
Thank you
know,
very
this is not
much.
gonna,
Thank
this
you
is not
very
going to be
much
your
for
last. You know you're
having me
going to,
on there.
yeah, you know you're going to come back. You don't need to thank him because this is just a hustle. This is just an impromptu one. But we're going to actually come back and in the future discuss your approaches and what the trends may be and see how we can do business also in real estate. So thank you so much for your time. And we want to
Thank
say
you very much for having me, Mr.
you're very welcome. And thank you for that short notice and still making it. And we want to say to our viewers, beloved, we wish above all things that
Above
you
all things,
prosper and
prosper,
be in health,
be
even
in
as
good
your
health,
soul
as your
prospers.
soul
Thanks for
prospers.
watching.
Skeletons living in my chest. I feel my feelings way too strong. Wish that you could turn a heart off. Made of glass and they always crack. I wish that I could make it stop. Wish that you could turn a heart off. Think I'm tired of being broken. Thinking love is just a waste of time. The higher that I'm hoping, quicker that I fall, and I guess I want it to be easy, but it's never ever easy. I always end up let down. Take all my love, this is tragic. I could replace it with plastic. Think maybe then I'd be fine. All these skeletons living in my chest. I feel my feelings way too strong. Wish that you could turn a heart off. Made of glass and they always crack. I wish that I could make it stop. Wish that you could turn a heart off. Over all of these emotions, getting dizzy, roller coaster ride. Lock the door and keep it closed, yeah. Better off if I just stay inside, 'cause I want it to be easy, but it's never really easy falling till I'm upside down. Take all this life, you can have it. I could replace it with static. Think maybe then I'd be fine. All these skeletons living in my chest. I feel my feelings way too strong. Wish that you could turn a heart